Welcome to the Santa Fe Opera. Set in the high desert of northern New Mexico between the Sangre de Cristo and Jemez Mountains, the Santa Fe Opera is like no place on earth. The sweeping blue skies draw many to this region, artists, writers, musicians, and even actors. I'm Robert Redford, and as a longtime Santa Fe resident and neighbor of the opera, I am thrilled to take you on a journey behind the scenes of this storied institution to explore the unique setting where the opera's artists and musicians bring imagination to life. At 7,000 feet above sea level, at the foothills of the Rockies, the idea to build an opera house here was bold. In 1957, visionary founder John Crosby purchased a dude ranch on 150 acres north of Santa Fe, and legend was born. Riding on horseback alongside acoustic engineer Jack Purcell, they shot pistols into the air and located a natural amphitheater, which would become the site of the original open-air theater. From that moment, the perfect marriage of art and nature forever transformed the opera-going experience. Over the past 65 years, the theater has been rebuilt twice. The current structure, designed by architect James Polshek, uniquely showcases the role that the natural environment plays in every performance. Spectacular vistas, extraordinary sunsets, and a sea of bright stars. The Santa Fe Opera's festival coincides with the desert's most abundant season, the monsoons. Each summer, performances are accompanied by thunder, lightning, winds, and sometimes heavy rains, providing the audience with high drama both on stage and off. While you may not suspect it from your seat, there's an entire subterranean world below stage level. In 2016, the opera completed a major construction project to expand and modernize its backstage facilities, including a new production center, expanded costume shop, and dressing rooms. This increased the dedicated spaces for the opera's carpenters, painters, props artisans, and costume shop staff, from 30,000 to over 60,000 square feet. The Crosby Theater complex is now truly state-of-the-art. Environmental sustainability is at the center of the opera's practices. The theater roof captures more than 80,000 gallons of rainwater annually, which is funneled into underground cisterns that are used to irrigate the opera's grounds. In addition, all gray water at the opera is recycled on-site at its own water treatment facility. Down the hill from the theater, you'll find the old San Juan Ranch, which houses offices for many of the opera's year-round employees. Almost hidden in its location on the opera campus, the ranch consists of a series of low-slung adobe structures set into the hillside. In 2005, architect Hugh Hardy developed a comprehensive renovation plan for the lower campus, including a large tent-like pavilion which provides gathering space for the entire company, and a popular venue for the opera's famous preview dinners. The canopied structure also serves as a rainwater collection system. A series of private vocal studios were added, with each studio's foundation incorporating a labyrinth passive cooling system, drawing cool air up from the ground and creating renewable air conditioning and circulation. There are also two large rehearsal spaces on the lower campus, which replicate the footprint of the main stage. Several other halls provided rehearsal space for the opera's chorus and dancers. All of these facilities collect precious water runoff, which is directed to pumice wicks and below-ground cisterns to supplement irrigation. The architectural updates were accompanied by environmentally conscious improvements to the landscaping, prioritizing drought-resistant plants, hardy grasses, and shade trees. As the opera looks to the future, its commitment to artistic excellence will be mirrored by sound environmental stewardship of its unparalleled natural setting, where art and nature coexist and thrive in perfect harmony.
Hello, I'm Patricia Michaels from Taos Pueblo. I look forward to taking you backstage to have a behind-the-scenes look at the various production aspects that culminate the spectacular visual elements that shape each opera. I'm grateful to have spent time at the Santa Fe Opera as a technical apprentice, learning and creating in this remarkable environment. In the off-season, the production department consists of about 25 personnel. By the end of May, the department grows to more than 200 and includes 75 technical apprentices across the country. The corporation and formidable talent of this creative corps is essential in mounting 5 productions in the repertory each year. One of the most striking anticipated elements of the opera is its costumes, and that is where our journey begins. In full production mode, around 65 staff works in the costume shop, including millinery, dye, and craftspeople. It's not uncommon for 6 to 10 people to work on a single piece depending on the complexity of its construction. Drapers, cutters, tailors, fabric dyers, craftspeople, and millineries may all play a part in executing the vision of the opera's costume designer. While a costume can portray the origin, personality, and status of a character, it must also facilitate the movement of the artist during their scene. And it must sometimes accommodate quick off-the-stage garment changes in a matter of seconds. This romantic dress was designed by Brigitte Riefenstahl, whose costumes have been seen on stages around the world for the past 20 years. You may also recognize these costumes as Layla's dress in the Santa Fe Opera's production, Bizet's The Pearl Fishers. First performed in 1863, the opera is set in the ancient times on the island of Ceylon and describes a moving tale of friendship tested by love. The skirt was engineered so that when Layla rises up on the B-lift in the giant hand on the set, the skirt would maintain its fullness. On the bodice, every panel was machine quilted in-house before being assembled. The splendid necklace was made by the Santa Fe Opera's crafts department and is sewn into the bodice in a way that allows for comfort and movement by the artist. The decorative trim on this skirt was handmade in India, all 28 yards of it. In this brilliant red costume and veil, Layla contrasts with the more muted tones of the other singers. These opulent fabrics represent some of the materials that will be used in the transformation of Dionysus in The Lord of Cries, under the leadership of the costume designer Chrissy Karvanides-Deshenko. In his first look, the costumes will be constructed of metallic goatskin hides for armor, and the crinkle organza for his cape. Most intriguing is the silk chiffon with feathers that are individually hand-painted to create the pants. His final look is stylized with shimmery gold Dupioni silk pants and gold foil top, and of course, a cape. Each of these fabrics will soon be manipulated by a team in the costume shop as the garments start to take form. The appearance of each artist is crowned with his or her wig and makeup. The Santa Fe Opera creates custom wigs for each artist, and some wigs can take up to 40 hours each to complete. Even now, my imagination is overwhelmed when I think about how the audience will come to life when they see these costumes for the first time. Costumes originate with the shared vision of the opera's director and costume designer. The technical and historical information from the Costume Research Library anchor the designs so that each performer's appearance reflects this alliance. Costume designers possess strong artistic capabilities and thorough knowledge of pattern development, draping, textiles, and fashion history. The designer uses these skills in collaboration with the team to create ensembles that fit the production's design concept. These so-called Bibles are what the industry uses to capture sketches, measurements, details of the fabrics, and the singer's role in the opera. Props enhance the storytelling on stage, and each year around 30 staff creates handcrafted objects and furniture. These props add the finishing touches to the scenes and are often the subject of conversation for opera lovers, especially if the prop is the centerpiece of the plot. This letter set and quill represent the numerous letters that play pivotal roles in opera. The letters can provide confirmation, proof, clarity, evidence, collaboration, or a most tantalizing revelation. With the stroke of a pen, how circumstances can change. The matryoshka dolls, also known as nesting dolls, are a cultural symbol of Russia. First crafted in 1890, the doll set consists of a wooden figure, which separates in the middle, top from bottom, to reveal smaller figure of the same sort inside, which has, in turn, another figure inside of it, and so on. These dolls will appear on stage in Tchaikovsky's heart-wrenching Eugene Onegin as one of the activities of the women in the community. Among major opera companies, the Santa Fe Opera is unusual in that all of the shops of the production department are on site. The scene shop carpenters construct scenery out of metal, wood, and other materials that reflect the needs of the set designers. The paint shop works with carpenters to paint, texturize, and carve anything needed to complete the scenic elements. The scenery at the opera has very specialized requirements. It must be designed and engineered to travel to and from the stage on a hydraulic elevator. Because multiple operas are staged in the festival season, a crew of 16 apprentices execute the daily scenery changeovers, which must happen in only 90 minutes to keep the rehearsals and performances on time. The opera uses automation and special effects, including traps with elevators, turntables, and electric, hydraulic, and pneumatic equipment. When Mother Nature won't cooperate with the needs of the opera's production, the crew can literally make it rain on stage, on cue. Scenery, props, and costumes are among the foundation of staging an opera, but the lighting is what provides nuance for each of the scenes. Every opera has a designated lighting designer to create those intimate moments on the big stage. And when the production requires the use of projection, the lighting designer and the projections designer must work in close collaboration to make sure they create the idyllic space together. Thank you for joining me on this virtual tour of the production shops at the Santa Fe Opera. We've had a chance to witness the magic that happens behind the scenes. There are so many creative technicians that contribute to the extraordinary sights and sounds of an evening at this world-class opera company. I'll be watching for what is yet to come in future seasons at the Santa Fe Opera. I hope you will too.
Hello, I am David Lomelí, joining you from the Crosby Theater at the Santa Fe Opera, one of the world's most unique performing arts spaces. With its open-air theater, audiences enjoy unparalleled performances amid the striking landscape of northern New Mexico. My own journey to this stage began with my debut in La Boheme in 2011. I am thrilled to return to Santa Fe as the opera's chief artistic officer with exciting plans for the future. I can remember the moment I heard about being selected to sing the role of Rodolfo. I was very thrilled. My manager at the time was Matthew Epstein, and he called me to tell me the good news while I was starting the Adler Fellowship in San Francisco Opera. The Santa Fe Opera is so prestigious and beautiful, mighty and legendary. Everybody sees you in Santa Fe. I was very excited to come and explore the intersection of art and nature at the heart of New Mexico. When I arrived, I found that I loved the camaraderie, the cantina, the grand operations luxuries, mixed with the family sense that you breathe all over the campus. I anticipated that it was going to be harder to sing in an open-air theater, but I was so happy when I tried my voice on stage and I could hear everything. As I enter the Crosby Theater, my eyes are quickly drawn to the ceiling, which mirrors the contours of the mountains. In addition to the roof's iconic shape, the curves create acoustic reflections of sound from the performers, just as I discovered. This stage is still one of my favorite places to sing. There are many things that set the Santa Fe Opera apart. The atmosphere and the facilities of the campus are out of this world. Two features that are unusual in this theater are the absence of a fly system and a front curtain. These challenges are met by placing most set pieces on wagons, casters, or turntables, which are moved as part of the scene changes during the opera. As a singer, it's remarkable to have scenery moving around you and still stay in the present to land that perfect high note. The sliding doors at the rear of the stage are another notable feature. When open, they reveal a majestic vista of mountains and the night sky, a backdrop that designers occasionally incorporate as part of the opera set. The festival season is a real home for artists to be free in a gorgeous and welcoming environment. On top of that, we do opera really well. We scout and train some of the best talent around the world, and then we mix them with some guest artists to create some of the most exciting pieces of theater I have ever seen. In Santa Fe, you can always discover a rising star and enjoy some of the best people doing their craft at the highest level. Over the 64 seasons of the Santa Fe Opera, audiences have been treated to 168 different works, 17 world premieres, and 44 American premieres. Among the most recent world premieres are Grammy Award-winning The Revolution of Steve Jobs, music by Mason Bates, and libretto by Mark Campbell. The 13th Child by Danish composer Paul Ruders, with a libretto by Becky and David Starobin, and The Lord of Christ by composer John Corigliano and librettist Mark Adamo. The backdrop of the gorgeous mountains of New Mexico, the SFO orchestra playing under Maestro Harry Bickett, and our full complement of performers and technicians putting their hearts and souls out there every night is just magical. When I think about artistic excellence, I realize that opera is like figure skating on the Olympic stage. It's an appreciation sport. For me, artistic excellence means that I never close a performance feeling like I could have done more. It also means listening to our audience, the new technologies, the social justice art conversation, and a real and deep commitment to build community, having authentic conversations that can change minds. Art is made to make us feel. If we can produce phenomenal opera with the highest quality and still make people laugh, cry, or forgive, we did our job. As I look to the future, I also want to take advantage of the incredible training programs that exist at the Santa Fe Opera and to make our apprentice program recruiting and career development international from the outset. I also want to collaborate with our neighbors, my country, and our pueblos in a realistic, sustainable way. Somos Unidos, says the slogan of the local soccer club in New Mexico. The Santa Fe Opera wants a "We are united" mentality to infuse our organizational culture for everyone who works with and for us. I would love also to bring many debuts to the podium and to the stage. There will be definitely more diversity, not only in color, preference, or race, but in ideas. We want to bring the world of social media and technological advancement together to help keep the Santa Fe Opera ahead in the world. New works will always be part of our DNA. The Santa Fe Opera plans are to really try to mix an international, multicolored, diverse, rich festival that creates tears, heartbreak, hope, and a lot of love. Well, you've now toured the many components that bring each of the Santa Fe Opera's festival nights to life. We look forward to seeing you at the Santa Fe Opera. The maestro has just been called to the pit, and the anticipation of the performance has reached its height. Let's go in.